When the sun comes up in Tennessee, there's no telling where he'll be. Maybe on some bayou way down in Louisiana, somewhere off the Florida Keys, fishing in the deep blue sea. No walls are gonna hold him, he's an outdoor kind of man. Derrick Beeler, Derrick Beeler, outdoor.
Today on Derrick Beeler Outdoors, we're going to be joined by country singer Ron Williams, and we're going to head down to the Clinch River, wade out just a little bit, and see if the trout are hungry today. Ron, it's real good to have you down here on the Clinch River fishing with us today, buddy.
I really appreciate that. I appreciate you asking me. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. I've never been here before, and I was so excited to get here, and it hasn't been disappointing at all. It's beautiful.
Well, we definitely love it out here. Tell us a little bit about where you're at these days in your music career.
Yeah, well, I've been writing songs and singing for lots and lots of years, close to 30 years. Was a staff songwriter for a number of years in Nashville, but I'm out there working lots of shows and playing lots of music and bringing regular old good traditional country music to all these folks that are screaming for it out there, you know.
It's pretty much been a family thing for you.
Well, it really has. I was very lucky to grow up in a music business family. My mother, Leona Williams, wonderful singer, songwriter, was taking me along on them shows when I was very, very little. Somebody told me one time they had a picture of a guitar case with a blanket and me sleeping in it along the side of the stage.
That goes way back. Way back
there, but I've always been around it, you know, and so I was just really lucky to grow up in that environment and learn from some of these wonderful singers and songwriters that are were available at the time. And so it's been really an interesting life. I feel very blessed.
What does your schedule look like this summer?
Oh golly, we're all over the place. We travel not only in the United States but worldwide. Really, we just got back from Ireland I don't know, about 6 weeks ago, I guess. And worked a series of shows over there, and actually last night we were there. We worked the Leinster Entertainment Awards in Nass, Ireland, and they gave us both an award while we were there. So we're really proud of that, and be recognized. It's a shame you recognized in a foreign country instead of Nashville for what you're doing. But
right.
But I say we, my mom and I, Leona, traveling. We're going to go film some more of the RFD TV Midwestern Country show. We're going to do that next month, and we've got a show actually next. I guess it's 2 weeks from now in Missouri, and just got back from a 2-week thing. We were out in Oklahoma and then went down into Texas and worked several shows, and so we just got back. So this is a nice break from traveling.
Well, get a little fishing in.
Yeah, get a little fishing in, absolutely.
Ron, tell us a little bit about some of the albums you've had come out in the past, and if you're working on anything now.
You bet. Back in the early 2000s, my very first album came out. It was titled Natural Thing, and I was writing songs and being managed by those folks that managed Joe Diffie and Ty Herndon and a few of those guys that were singing so good and having great records back then. And so I started writing for that company, and my very first major release record came out. It was called Natural Thing. And right about that same time, Joe Diffie cut a song that a buddy of mine and I had written. The song was called Something Like This, and that was really my first songwriting credit that I got out there that I was so proud of, you know. And Joe Diffie was just, I was in awe of him anyway, and for him to be a songwriter and managed by the same company was really neat. So that was my Natural Thing album. Then I went to Texas and I recorded an album, and I specifically looked for songs that kind of fit that. You remember the station Willie's place? There used to be Hank's place on XM radio, and I thought I'm going to cut a whole album of songs that are just like that, I want to get on that radio station, and I want to cut records like that. So went in and cut an album called Texas Style, and that's probably been my most popular project I've ever recorded. You know, people seem to keep going back to that record, and wrote a song or two on it. And then I went in the studio and I cut an album called The Longer You're Gone, and had the wonderful and talented Janie Frick come and sang all the harmonies on it. And it's a beautiful record. I was real proud of it as well. And then this last album, it's been about a year, I guess it's been out, but it's called Foolproof, and I've got about half of them songs I wrote on that one, and I'm real proud of that record as well. It's doing really good, and get some airplay and things. And you know, when I go in and look for songs to record, I always pick songs I like rather than what I think other people will like.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't know if that's helped me or hurt me, but you know, at the end of the day, you got to listen to your records, and you got to live with them, you know, and you got to sleep good at night. So
exactly.
So I try to find songs I like and hope everybody else likes them also. But we're not catching a whole lot of fish right this second, Derrick. But by golly, we're getting some bites anyway.
Ron, tell us a little bit about how your mom was an influence on you as far as wanting to play music and wanting to become a...
Yeah, absolutely. You know, my whole life I've seen people, you know, look up to her, and you know, all these folks come to these shows and things, and I knew she was doing something pretty special in the music business even when I was a little kid. You know, you pick up on those things, but you know, her songwriting and things, I mean, the older I get, the more I appreciate what she was able to accomplish at such a young age, you know. You look at somebody back then doing stuff, even like Hank Williams in their 20s. Right. And what these kids these days, I'm sorry, but they're not going to accomplish those kind of things. A lot of them won't. In their 20s, they just had this maturity about them, you know. And but anyway, going back to your question, I just you know, I just always wanted to model my career around her career. She was always you know, writing such great songs and singing so well and things, and it's just an appealing lifestyle, and it's almost like a family business to us. You know, we've always been around music and played music. My uncles all play music, and it's quite interesting around my house. Christmas time, you know, playing fiddles or mandolins or whatever, you know, and singing, and so it's a wonderful thing, and I'm glad my children are getting to experience that. How you know, it brings your family closer when you play music together. I really believe that, and it's you know, it's a wonderful thing. I think it keeps a lot of these kids out of trouble. You know, they play a little music and
learn an instrument for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give you something to do, you know.
Yeah. But I sure enjoyed it, and doing what we're doing right here is pretty good too. You know.
Go fish.
Yes, sir.
Have some fun.
My two favorite things in the world to do is what we're doing right here, and playing a little music. All right. So
let's see what we got here.
Boy, it's a monster.
Oh Lord.
Get the net.
We got. They just released these trout just here a few weeks ago.
Yeah, look at it.
They're not any monsters, but
boy, they're still fun to catch.
But those guys are a blast for sure. Yeah, there you can.
Look at that. Pretty.
Oh, yeah.
That's brown, isn't it? Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna try it. No, it's
a rainbow. That's a rainbow. Yeah, those were probably trout. Some of the ones that were just released.
Yeah, pretty little trout right
here
there.
Recently. So.
Hold him out in front of you. Oh, sorry.
There we are.
That pretty?
Live worm.
Live worm.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna let this little fella go. Nope, he has jumped away, and off he goes. Tell your grandpa to come back. Uh-oh, we've got another one on?
I didn't get him on. Ron, you grew up in the music business. Did you get much opportunity to do outdoor things?
Well, it actually gave me more opportunities. You know, we got to travel a lot, and then I did get to go fishing quite a bit. You know, for a lot of years there growing up, we lived out in Northern California, near Lake Shasta. So I got to fish Lake Shasta quite a bit, and I was just fell in love with that lake. It's just beautiful. Smallmouth fishing's great. Really all the fishing, and that's where I really became just crazy about fishing. You know, it was on Lake Shasta out there, and but it sure did. It just opens a lot of doors, and you meet a lot of people, and you know, you'll have opportunities that you might not ordinarily get. So
Right. Oh yeah.
just get lucky with that stuff, you know. And I sure enjoyed all those times, no doubt. I want to ask you a question. I understand you play music a little bit.
I play a little music. I do.
I love it.
We're kind of in the same boat. That's my two things:
Yeah.
picking and fishing.
Absolutely.
Definitely love
Well,
it.
maybe I can con you into grabbing a guitar here in a little while and sit down
can do
and
it.
sing one.
We can do it. We always ask each of our guests if they have a good fishing story. You got one for us?
Well, I got lots of stories. You want to? Well, you know, probably the largest fish I've ever had on a rod and reel would have been paddle fishing. Have you ever paddle fish?
I have not. No.
Oh my goodness, it'll wear you out. But it's basically snagging with big, heavy-duty rod and reel. I was in the Missouri River, on the edge of the Missouri River in Montana, and caught a 90-pounder, like 90 pounds.
Oh.
And that was quite an interesting thing. You know, the Missouri breaks, and it's just crazy wild out there country. You know, bears or anything. You know, and but that's the biggest. I don't have any too crazy of fishing stories, but I want to invite you up to my country up there, because we'll catch some fish up there. We'll go catfishing. We can go bass fishing. I got a few secret spots I'll show you, and I'll put you on them.
That'd be great.
As
That'd
they
be
say.
wonderful. Something else that we always ask our guests is to head back over to the Derrick Beeler Outdoors front porch and do a tune.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's catch one more fish and we'll run over and do that.
Let's do that.
Da da do da do 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 da da do da do da do. You always find a way to hurt my pride. If I'm not crying, then you're not satisfied. I don't know why you want to hurt me so, but if you're trying to break my heart, you don't have very far to go. You don't have very far to go before the heartaches begin. I already feel the sadness of a heartache setting in. You're turning down the flames of love too low. And if you're trying to break my heart, you don't have very far to go. don't have very far to go before the heartaches begin. I already feel the sadness of a heartache setting in. You're turning down the flames of love too low. And if you're trying to break my heart, you don't have very far to go. 'Cause if you're trying to break my heart, you don't have very far to go.
I want to thank you, Ron, for joining us on the Clinch River down there. Had a wonderful time.
I had a great time. I can't wait to return.
Had a great time. Let's talk about your latest album on Love Shine Records called Foolproof.
Yeah, that's an album. It's been out about a year, I guess now. We put that on our in-house family label. My mom actually started that label years ago with George Jones, and they didn't really do much with it until the last couple of years, and we've put our last couple of albums that we've done. My mom's put hers, and put mine on that Love Shine label. But yeah, that's something I'm really proud of. I wrote about half of those songs, co-wrote, and it's got some good stuff on it. It's got some good country stuff.
Where can folks that are interested in Ron Williams, where all can we find you?
Well, the best place, of course, would be my website, ronwilliamscountry.com. I get those orders myself, and anytime those orders come in, I assign those CDs to that person and mail them out myself. But you can also download them on all the typical download sites on the internet.
Facebook.
You can find them. You can find me on Facebook, just Ron Williams or Ron Williams Music, but like CD Baby and Amazon and those places, you can find it as well.
You can get this.
Derrick, that's a fine looking hat. Where in the world can I get one of them?
Thank you. If you're going to go fishing, you got to have a good hat. Our good friend Stan Hitchcock told us that. And if you want one of these hats, go to MidwesternTrucks.com. Let me tell you a little bit about what all you can do there. You can also, number one, you can buy yourself a hat. The other thing you can do is you can look through a whole bunch of different trucks that they have there for sale. Jacked up Jeeps, jacked up trucks, beautiful stuff. If you got a problem with your truck, you can go on there and talk to other truck people that will, you can kind of break it around and they'll help you figure it out. So definitely check out MidwesternTrucks.com. And the front porch is located here on Highway 116 in Clinton, Tennessee at the Old Peddler Shops. And this is a really old Dietz Railroad lantern. And you can get yourself really cool stuff like this at the Old Peddler Shops. What do you think about that, Ron? Is that not?
That's something else. And you never know, that thing might have been used by Jimmy Rogers to flag down a train.
You never know. This is what if I was going to flag down a train, I would take this out here and be like, hey, look out. So thanks for watching Derrick Beeler Outdoors. Had a good time, Ron.
Yes, sir. Thank you. How about another song?
You know what? Let's do that. Just another song. That'd be great.
Da 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 da. I know some things look different in the cold gray light of dawn. For some things feel so right at night, and in the morning feel so wrong. Last night I saw me in your eyes. This morning I say I'm gone. If I'd known last night was our last night, I'd have loved you all night long. If I'd known last night was the last night, no more to look forward to, I would have given more of me and taken more of you. Then perhaps instead of letting go, you'd still be hanging on. If I'd known last night was our last night, I'd have loved you all night long. I watched you brush your soft black hair and the wrinkles from your clothes, and as you moved around the room, I wished you wouldn't go. Well, I could love you one more time. I'd give anything I own. If I'd known last night was our last night, I'd have loved you all night long. If I'd known last night was the last night, no more to look forward to, I would have given more of me and taken more of you. Then perhaps instead of letting go, you'd still be hanging on. If I'd known last night was our last night, I'd have loved you all night long. If I'd known last night was our last night, I'd have loved you all night long.
When the sun comes up in Tennessee, there's no telling where he'll be. Maybe on some bayou way down in Louisiana, somewhere off the Florida Keys, fishing in the deep blue sea. No walls are gonna hold him, he's an outdoor kind of man. Derrick Beeler, Derrick Beeler, outdoor.
If y'all like what you saw today, be sure to check us out on Facebook, like us, follow us, and share us. Also, you can keep up to date with everything Derrick Beeler Outdoors is doing right there, and also our website, www.derrickbeeleroutdoors.com.